Hello my dear students of class 11. Today we will continue the chapter The Living World, and that is taxonomic aids. So in our previous classes we came to know about the different categories. Now we will know about taxonomic aids. What does that term mean? Taxonomic aids. Taxonomic aids means something which are helping in taxonomy. Okay, as I have mentioned that taxonomy is not a single step process. So these are some examples, or there are some examples which are helping in taxonomy. And we will come to know one by one. So first we will know what is taxonomy. So taxonomy is collection of actual specimens of plants, collections of actual specimens of plants and animals that may be in living form and or in preserved form, which help in the identification or verification of species, are called taxonomical aids. So I am repeating. So what does that mean? Taxonomy is collections of actual specimens. Okay. We need some actual specimens, collections of actual specimens, or it may be plant or animal species, or it may be either in living form or in preserved form, and which help in the identification or verification, which helps in the identification or verification of a species, is called taxonomical aids. Okay, so there are different types of taxonomical aids which will help us to understand how taxonomy, or with the help of that we can taxonomy will be very easy. So there are some examples, or there are some taxonomical aids. First one is herbarium. So herbarium, what is herbarium? Herbarium is a storehouse of collected plant species that are dried, pressed and preserved. I am repeating, what is herbarium? Herbarium is a storehouse. The dried plants are stored in that herbarium form. So how it can be done? So you can collect some plants. So it will be better if you collect with the root, stem and leaves, flowers, fruit. That means if you collect a plant having all the different parts, it will be better. So after collecting it, it need to be dried. Okay, so you can do it like that. You can keep it inside a book and cover it, or before that you have to wash it. So after that, so first you have to collect plant, then you have to wash it and dry it, and after that you have to keep it inside a newspaper, or you have to put it inside your book, and or a load will be there, and after a few days you have to check that the plant is dried or not. Okay, and there you have to mention, after drying you have to stick it on a paper, and beside that you need to mention the name of the plant, or from where you have got the habitat, the locality. Okay, that means some informations about the plants that will help in taxonomy. Okay, so I am repeating, what is herbarium? So it is storehouse of collected plant specimens. Particularly you have to know this is for plant specimens that are dried, pressed and preserved. Okay, that are preserved properly. In some places, museums, or there are so many places where herbariums are kept in that places. Okay, so you have to keep remember that labeling is must. Okay, that means a labeling which will carry some information, that is date, place of collection, English name, local name, botanical name, what is the family, who is the collector. Okay, that information should be there, and it is called as herbarium, and it is very, very useful. So next part is botanical gardens. So what is botanical garden? Botanical garden is a place where collection of living plants are there for reference. these are specialized gardens. Okay, as the name considered the botanical garden, so this is the specialized gardens where collections of living plants are kept for reference. Okay, so these will help in the identification purpose also. So in our India and across the world there are so many botanical gardens. So in our Howrah in India there is a botanical garden, and in our Lucknow there is a botanical garden. Okay, that is National Botanical Research Institute, Lucknow, India. And the largest, the famous botanical garden is Kew, which is in England, and our botanical garden is Indian Botanical Garden. Okay, so there are so many botanical gardens, as I have told their names, which are present in India and across the world. Okay, and they are famous for keeping so many various types of plant species which are helping us in that part. Okay, so next is museum. So what is museum? Museum is a place which have collections of preserved animals and plants. So museums are those places which have collections of preserved animals and plants for what? For taxonomic studies. So museums are having collections of plants and animals for which will help in the taxonomical study. So how specimens will be preserved in the museum? So there are different processes. As we came to know that for keeping plants we are using that process, that means herbarium, and for animals the specimens are preserved in a jar or bottles and with the preservatives. Okay, usually formaldehyde and other preservatives can be used. So preservative, with the preservative solution, specimens are kept inside the bottle or jar. Okay, or containers. So and here there is an exception, that is in case of insects. So in case of insects we have to we cannot keep that insect inside that formaldehyde. Okay, so we have to keep that insect which is in an insect box. That means we have to dry the specimens, or after that within the insect boxes we have to kill the insect, and we have to use some pins, and with the help of the pins we have to stick the insect with that box. Okay, and it is called as insect box. So particularly storing insect, first collection, then killing, and then pinning procedure will be there. Okay, so and what about the large animals? Large animals like birds and mammals are usually stuffed and preserved. Large animals like usually birds and mammals are usually stuffed and then preserved. Okay, and sometimes in the museums we can find some different skeletons also. Okay, skeletons of different animals will be found in the museums. Okay, so that's it. So next we will proceed for the zoological parks. What is zoological park? Place where wild animals are kept in protected environment. Where wild animals are kept in protected environment are called as zoological parks. Okay, and children love to visit that zoological parks, and commonly it is called as zoos. Okay, as we have all of you have seen the or visited the zoo, as I know, and there the animals which are kept in their nature, we are not killing the animals in that parks. Okay, we are keeping that animals alive, but they will be in our surveillance, or they will be in the protected areas. Okay, so humans, that means human care will be there. Okay, so we will provide them food, we will provide them particular shelter so that they can live there safely. Okay, so they will be under human care and they will be in protected environment. Where? In the zoological parks. Next one is key. This is a new term, and this is an analytical study. Okay, that is, keys are generally analytical study. And what is that? That analytical scheme for identification of plants and animals based on similarities and dissimilarities. keys are analytical study which are based on some similarities and dissimilarities of characters. Okay, so these keys are very important, and if we consider that key, so we'll come to know some other terms. So keys are of mainly two types. Okay, keys are of mainly two types, that are indented key and bracketed key. So there you will get another term, that is couplet. So what is couplet? The keys are based on some contrasting characters. Contrasting characters. So I have told that keys are analytical scheme for identification of plants and animals based on similarities and dissimilarities. Okay, and these are based on, according to the similarities, dissimilarities, that is some contrasting characters. Keys are based on some contrasting characters which are called as couplet, which are called as the pair of, generally a pair, that contrasting characters are called as couplet. Okay, that means there will be two options and we have to make choice between them. Okay, like that the animal is having leg or the animal is not having leg. Okay, like that. With the animal having simple eye or the animal is having compound, like that there will be a contrasting characters on the basis of that key will be there. And there is another term, that is lead. So in that contrasting characters, one character will be accepted and another character will be rejected. In that contrasting characters, one character will be accepted and another character will be rejected. That means that key is dependent on the acceptance and rejections, and each statement of that key is considered as lead. Each statement of that key is considered as key. Okay, so there are two different types of keys, as I have told, and these are very useful in taxonomical studies. Okay, so these are the main taxonomical aids which are helping in taxonomy study. So except that there are some others which are I am writing the names, that is flora, manuals, catalogs, monographs. Okay, these are the some other examples which are helping in taxonomy, or these are considered as taxonomical aids which are called as flora, manual, catalogs and monographs, and these are keeping records. Okay, these are keeping records of description and helps in the correct identification. So identification is a main process in case of taxonomy. So these are helping in that identification. So what is flora? Flora is the actual account of habitat and distribution of a plant of a given area. So flora is the actual account of habitat of a plants of a given, distributed in a given area. Okay, as we can say that flora of Delhi, flora of Madras. So that will consider that the particular plant habitat and in the Delhi or Madras. Okay, so it is flora. Next is what is manual? What is manual is providing information for identification of names. So what is manual? Manuals are providing information for identification of names. For identification of names, whose name? That means identification of name of a species found in a particular area. So it is helps in identification of names found in a names of a species found in a particular area. Okay. So last that is monograph. Monographs contains information about taxon. It contains information about the taxon. Monograph contains information about the taxon. So these are the some of the examples. So today we have completed the taxonomical aids. There are different and all the examples of taxonomical aids. So in our next class we will start in another chapter. So the living world chapter is completed now. If you are having any queries related to the chapter, you can ask me in your e-portal, school's e-portal. Okay. So there I will try to solve all the problems. Okay. So for today that's it, and thank you.